My name is Peter Bonilla. I'm the executive director of the MIT Free Speech Alliance. We really appreciate all of you coming out to this, our first ever conference, one of what we hope to be many in a series. A couple of quick, just kind of housekeeping remarks. We're going to be up here for most of our sessions today. After the second session, when we get ready for lunch, we're going to go down back to the first floor, and we're going to have our third session followed by our keynote in Innovation Hall. We'll have people in the lobby to get you where you need to go there. The moderator for our first session, John Tomasi, is running a little bit late coming through that famous New England traffic, so I am going to hold down the fort for him while he gets in from off the road. The operation shouldn't skip a beat once we have everyone for that session here. And otherwise, I'm very happy to give this over to the MIT Free Speech Alliance's chairman for this year, Wayne Stargardt. So Wayne, please come on up.
Thanks, Peter. So good morning. And welcome to the first of the annual conferences of the MIT Free Speech Alliance. The theme we're going to use for this conference is to explore different ways to build a more open culture at MIT. And you'll find that we'll draw lessons from a lot of places. I expect we're all going to learn a little bit from the discussions today, both those that are going to occur here on these panels, as well as those we'll have amongst ourselves in the between the sessions. But first, before proceeding, I need to make an important disclaimer. So the MIT Free Speech Alliance is a wholly independent organization and is not sponsored by nor affiliated with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So the opinions we express today by the MIT Free Speech Alliance and every day are our own and are not representative of the viewpoints of the MIT Corporation, the MIT Administration, or the MIT Alumni Association. Similarly, the opinions you'll hear expressed by our panelists are their own and do not represent the viewpoints of MIT. Okay, now that we've clarified our relationship with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, let's get going. So we're meeting here today in Cambridge, Massachusetts, virtually across the street from the most prestigious and arguably the best university in the world for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So this university earned that reputation over decades by performing groundbreaking research and educating highly innovative practitioners. So MIT's exceptionalism is built on several pillars. One of those foundational pillars is that it has remained focused on its mission of conducting leading research and education in the natural sciences. A second important pillar of its success has been its focus on attracting the best people, whatever that means, both the most daring and visionary faculty and researchers, as well as the best and brightest students. But yet another important foundation of MIT's exceptionalism has been its culture. A culture that supported wide-ranging, unrestrained, challenging, spirited, but respectful discourse amongst the members of that community. Now, this year will be my 50th reunion at MIT, which at MIT is a kind of special milestone. But like many of my fellow graduates who have lived the MIT experience, we recognize how special, unique, and important that culture is. Unfortunately, that culture here of open intellectual discussion and tolerance for heterodox, even quirky viewpoints, and we specialize in those, has been eroding. Now that erosion admittedly reflects forces at work in the general American society at large. But unlike some other prestigious universities, MIT has not distinguished itself in withstanding those forces or defending its culture. So unfortunately today, if you walk around campus, you can detect the oppressing cloud of self-censorship when you have individual conversations with faculty, staff, or students. The anecdotal impressions are confirmed by survey data, which show that there's widespread self-censorship in this community today, from fear of official and unofficial sanction, from holding the wrong positions, expressing the wrong thoughts, or even using the wrong pronouns. Now, the purveyors of cancel culture at MIT made their most egregious and visible overreach almost exactly 2 years ago when they canceled Professor Dorian Abbot's Carlson lecture, sending a signal to the rest of the MIT community that bad things will happen when your thoughts and your speech get out of line. But MIT is a guiding light of STEM education, scholarship, and research. That exceptionalism partly depends on having that culture that tolerates diverse and different viewpoints, so tolerance of heretical propositions, and explorations beyond orthodoxy. That culture has to be defended if we're going to continue to have this be the exceptional university that it is. So what's to be done to get MIT back to its foundation as an oasis of freewheeling, irreverent, but respectful discourse? That question is why we're here today, to search for the ideas and the means to restore that culture. Now, the MIT Free Speech Alliance, even though we're founded by and led by alumni, is an organization that is comprised of all members of the MIT community who treasure MIT's exceptionalism and are dedicated to preserving it. Our specific focus is on restoring the open culture, to once again make this a place where ideas of all types can be freely expressed and debated. Now, no one person, or even any one faction of the MIT community, has the answers to the question of how to restore that culture, let alone the agency to implement any answers. Restoring a more vibrant culture of free expression at MIT is going to require incorporating ideas from across the community. And in the unlikely event that the people at MIT don't have all the answers, and recognizing that several other universities are also wrestling with this challenge, we need to be open-minded and listen to ideas and perspectives from other campuses. Now, recently, MIT did improve its ranking on support for freedom of expression in the annual FIRE survey of students at hundreds of universities in the US. Now, this is a welcome sign of improvement, and the MFSA applauds it. But what MIT did was improve its position from slightly below average to average amongst all those surveyed universities. So MIT's exceptionalism did not come from aspiring to be average. We still have a fair amount of work to be done. So today we're going to start our search for answers for improving that culture. We're going to hear ideas from members of the MIT faculty who spent most of last year deliberating on just this issue. We're going to hear from faculty from our neighboring university up the river with whom we've had a long-standing, mutually respectful relationship. We're going to hear some unique perspectives from students on this issue. And we'll hear about initiatives and programs being conducted at other campuses, reported on by their own concerned alumni, who, like MFSA, are affiliated with the Alumni Free Speech Alliance. And we'll hear from other thought leaders in the country who share equal concern about the degradation of the status of freedom of expression in higher education. So that search for answers is why we're here today. MIT is a magical jewel of STEM excellence. It's unique. It deserves our complete and total support to keep it that way. So let's be about it, shall we?